Blessing no longer recognized herself. It began with an odd itch. Then came a putrid stench, sharp and sour, followed by piercing pain in her lower abdomen. She rushed to the campus clinic. The nurse handed her some antibiotics. Nothing improved. 2 weeks passed. Then, things got worse. Her underwear was constantly soaked, not with urine, but a thick, dark, sticky liquid. And then came the nightmare. In the bathroom, she screamed in terror. "They're alive," she shouted. Maggots were wriggling out from between her thighs. This is Blessing's story. Stay with me. The sun burned hot that day. Blessing sat in the far corner of the lecture theater, waving her notebook back and forth to cool herself. Her stomach growled, she hadn't eaten since morning. Her eyes, hollow from hunger, stared blankly ahead. Her mind wasn't on the lecture. She kept thinking of her mother. Mima had been coughing up blood for weeks. The hospital bill was 70,000 naira, and Blessing's account held just 2,300. After class, she dragged herself back to her dorm, each step heavier than the last. At her door, her roommate Vanessa was perched on the bed, applying nail polish, chatting on the phone. Vanessa was always glowing, fancy wigs, designer perfume, constantly flaunting the latest smartphones. "Hey babe," she greeted with a grin as she ended her call. "You look like you're about to pass out. You never chop." Blessing shook her head slowly. "No money." Vanessa put down her polish and stood. "Girl, you can't keep living like this. Your mom's sick, you're broke, and still trying to be a good girl. Let me help you." Blessing's face twisted in confusion. "Help me how?" Vanessa smirked. "I know someone. Clean, wealthy, generous. No weird stuff. He just likes decent, fresh girls. One night, that's all it takes, and your mom can get her surgery and meds for a year." Blessing's heart skipped a beat. She had never done anything like that. But the image of her mother coughing helplessly in bed wouldn't leave her. That night, after sobbing alone in the hostel bathroom, she returned to the room and told Vanessa, "Okay. Just this once." At 10:30 p.m., a sleek black Jeep pulled up outside the hostel gate. Vanessa handed Blessing a black dress and red lipstick. Blessing's hands trembled as she applied the makeup in front of the mirror. She whispered to her reflection, "Just one night. One night only." The man in the Jeep was dark-skinned, clean-shaven, with a gleaming gold watch on his wrist that caught the moonlight. "You're even more beautiful than I imagined," he said in a deep, calm voice. Blessing just nodded. Fear kept her lips sealed. They drove to a quiet hotel far from town. He reserved a luxury suite on the top floor. Inside, he handed her a glass of juice and smiled. "Relax. I won't bite." Blessing didn't drink the juice. The rest of the night became a blur. She woke up the next morning in the hotel bed. Alone. The man was gone. On the nightstand lay an envelope containing 500,000 naira. Inside was a note. "Take care of your mother. I'll contact you again if needed. M." She clutched the money and broke into tears. That same day, she paid the hospital. Her mother began treatment, and the coughing slowed. For the first time in ages, Blessing smiled. But what she didn't know was, that night had a price. Her womb was no longer hers. 1 month later, something inside Blessing began to feel wrong. The itching returned. Then the foul smell. Pain deep in her stomach. She went back to the clinic. The nurse gave her another round of antibiotics. Still, no change. Then came the real horror. Her underwear was constantly soaked, not with urine, but with a strange, dark, thick fluid. And then it happened. One evening, she went into the bathroom and shrieked. "Maggots! They're crawling," she cried. Live maggots, white, slimy, emerged from between her thighs. She collapsed. When she opened her eyes, she was lying in a hospital bed, a harsh white light burning above her. Her head spun. Vanessa stood at her side, panic on her face. "Blessing? Blessing?" Vanessa whispered, gently shaking her. Blessing turned her head slowly. "I saw them," she murmured. "They were inside me." A nearby nurse frowned. "Maggots? Are you sure?" But Vanessa didn't look confused. She looked away, biting her lip like someone hiding something. The doctors ran every test: STDs, pregnancy, ultrasounds, urine. All the results came back normal. The record said she was healthy. But Blessing knew something inside her was not. That night, after everyone had fallen asleep, Blessing went to the bathroom again. She sat on the toilet, and suddenly, pain stabbed her womb like a blade. She screamed. Again, the maggots. Wriggling. Alive. She poured a bucket of water over herself, hands trembling in fear. When she looked in the mirror, she didn't recognize the girl staring back. Her eyes were sunken. Her lips cracked. Her skin pale. She looked cursed. She rushed back to the room and grabbed Vanessa's arm. "You said he was clean," she cried. "You said it was safe." Vanessa wouldn't meet her eyes. Instead, she muttered something that froze Blessing's blood. "I didn't know he still did that." Blessing's voice cracked. "Still did what?" Vanessa looked around, leaned close, and whispered, "Some girls who went to him, some went mad. Others bled out. You're not the first." "What?" Blessing gasped. Vanessa's voice trembled. "I thought he changed. He paid me extra to bring you that night. I didn't know he still." Blessing slapped her hard. "You sold me. For money." Tears welled up in Vanessa's eyes. "I'm sorry. But it was too late." Terrified and desperate, Blessing turned to her mother's advice. She traveled to a nearby village to meet a renowned prophetess. The woman sat barefoot on a mat, wrapped in white cloth, eyes painted with chalk. Before Blessing even spoke, the prophetess said, "You carried evil that night. Your womb is no longer yours." Blessing's legs gave out. She collapsed to her knees. "I didn't know," she sobbed. The woman nodded slowly. "The man you met is part of a dark cult. They trade women's wombs for wealth and power. That night, he collected your seed. The maggots you saw, those are not of this world." Blessing clutched her chest. "What can I do? I want my womb back. I want to be free." The prophetess looked into her eyes. "There's only one path. You must face him directly. But first, you need cleansing. 3 nights in the sacred river. If your spirit is strong, you will survive. If not, you may not return." Blessing wiped her face, stood slowly, and nodded. "I'll go." The journey had begun. But in the shadows, something was already watching. At 4 a.m., while the village still slept, only the croaks of frogs and chirping crickets filled the air. Blessing walked barefoot down a forest trail, flanked by the prophetess and her assistant, Nkechi. They carried ritual items: a calabash, palm oil, white chalk, a broom made from palm fronds, and an egg. As they ventured deeper, the air grew colder. Blessing's heart pounded. She had never stepped foot in a forest at night. Now she was heading to the sacred Ashamarani River, the river that speaks. "This river knows all," the prophetess whispered. "It knows what happened. It knows what was stolen. But it only fights for the innocent." When they reached the riverbank, the prophetess knelt and chanted into the wind. A sudden breeze howled through the trees. The water in the river began to stir on its own. Blessing shivered. "Remove your wrapper," the prophetess instructed. "Let the water touch your womb." Blessing obeyed. She stepped into the cold stream. It was freezing. Her legs went numb. The prophetess threw the egg into the water and spoke loudly, "If her womb was taken, let the river reveal it." The egg floated for a moment, then cracked open. Inside, a dark black liquid. The prophetess gasped. "It is confirmed. Her womb is buried." She dipped the broom into the water and began to sweep it around Blessing while chanting. Suddenly, Blessing screamed. Her stomach burned like fire. She doubled over, crying. "The spirit is angry," the prophetess said. "But we must continue." Just as the ritual neared its end, a voice echoed from the river, loud and unearthly. "She must return the price, or remain cursed." Everyone froze. "What does that mean?" Blessing asked, shaking. The prophetess's face turned pale. "It means the man who stole your womb must give back what he gained. Otherwise, the curse remains." Blessing fell to her knees in the water, crying. "But I don't know who he really is. I don't even know his name." Then, the prophetess said quietly, "You must go back, to the one who took you to him." The following day, weak and still aching, Blessing returned to campus. Vanessa looked stunned when she saw her. "Blessing? You just vanished. I've been looking for you." Blessing didn't say a word. She walked straight into their dorm room and locked the door. That evening, she finally sat down across from Vanessa and said firmly, "I need his name. His full name." Vanessa's face immediately changed. Fear crept into her eyes. "I told you, he doesn't like being talked about," she stammered. Blessing grabbed her collar. "I said give me his name, or I swear, if I die, I'll drag you into the grave with me." Hands shaking, Vanessa slowly wrote a name on a piece of paper. Chief Maxwell Omicum. Blessing stared at it. She repeated it in her mind again and again. The name the river had asked for. The name of the man who must return the price, or she would never be free. That night, Blessing couldn't sleep. She lay on her hostel bed, eyes glued to the spinning ceiling fan. Over and over, the name echoed in her thoughts, Chief Maxwell Omicum. It sounded powerful. Dangerous. Like destruction itself. She picked up her phone and searched online. Nothing. No social media. No business records. Not even a whisper on Google. It was like the man didn't exist. But she knew better. He was real. Her womb could feel it. The next morning, she stormed into Vanessa's room, eyes red with fury. "Where does he live?" she demanded. "Where does he work? I need something." Vanessa trembled. "Blessing, please. I don't want to die. He's not an ordinary man. He warned me never to give out his location." "I don't care," Blessing growled. "He took everything. My womb is gone. What do I even have left to lose?" Vanessa hesitated, then leaned in and whispered, "He has a private lodge near Hilltop Estate. Security is tight. No one gets in without being invited." Later that day, Blessing borrowed a friend's oversized hoodie and sunglasses, packed a small bag, and hopped on a bike to Hilltop Estate. The area was serene and elite. Gated homes. Silent roads. No kids playing. Everything looked too quiet, too expensive. She asked around. Most people ignored her. Some stared suspiciously. Finally, a fruit seller said quietly, "If you mean the black Jeep house, that's Oduga's place. No one calls him Maxwell here." "Oduga?" Blessing repeated. "People say he helped build this whole estate," the seller whispered. "Some say he owns it. But strange things happen in there. Girls go in, and don't come out." Blessing felt a chill run down her spine. She walked toward the large black gate with golden symbols. 2 massive security guards stood in front. "Good afternoon," she said, voice trembling. I'm here to see Chief Maxwell. I mean, Oduga. One of the guards laughed. You get appointment. She shook her head. The other said sharply, this ain't church. You don't walk in without invite. Please, she begged. Tell him it's Blessing. He knows me. Both guards laughed harder. Go back, little girl. Before we help you disappear. They shoved her away and slammed the gate shut. She stood there for a long while, heartbroken, not because she'd been rejected, but because she knew, this was war. That night, Blessing returned to the hostel quietly. She didn't speak. Around midnight, she woke up screaming. She had a nightmare, trapped inside a coffin, filled with maggots. And standing above her, Chief Maxwell, smiling in red beads. He leaned over her and whispered. I didn't just take your womb. I bought your destiny. She woke up drenched in sweat. Vanessa rushed to her side. Blessing. What's wrong? Blessing grabbed her Bible, crying. I need to go back. I need to see the prophetess again. This isn't just a sickness anymore. This is war. Meanwhile, far away, behind high walls and a dark gate, Chief Maxwell sat on a throne-like red chair. A glass of palm wine in his hand. Behind him, candles flickered around a shrine. He lifted a goat horn and poured wine into it. Then he spoke into the shadows. She's awake. She wants a fight. Let her come. He sipped the wine and grinned. By the time she finds me again, there'll be nothing left of her. By 6 a.m., Blessing was already traveling back to the prophetess's compound. She hadn't eaten. Hadn't spoken to anyone. Her body was weak, but her spirit burned with fire. The journey lasted over 2 hours. She didn't care. When she arrived, the place felt different. Heavier. Quieter. Colder. The prophetess was sitting outside, as if she had been waiting. She didn't smile. She looked into Blessing's eyes and said, he knows you're searching. That's why he's sending shadows to block your way. Tears gathered in Blessing's eyes. I saw him in my dream. He said he bought my destiny. The prophetess rose to her feet. Then it's time. Time to open the truth. As the evening sky faded into a burnt orange hue, the prophetess began preparing a sacred ritual. She brought out a strange mirror, its base made from stretched goat skin, its surface smeared with powdered charcoal and animal blood. Around it, she drew symbols on the ground with white chalk. 7 red candles were lit in a circle. Their flames danced wildly in the wind. Then she placed the mirror at the center and motioned for Blessing to sit. Do not blink, the prophetess warned. No matter what you see, keep your eyes open. Do not speak, until the mirror goes dark. Blessing nodded, sat cross-legged, and fixed her eyes on the strange reflective surface. At first, nothing appeared. Just blurry blackness. Then, slowly, images began to form. She saw a river. Then a girl, naked and trembling, being led into the water by 2 women. It was her. The vision changed. She saw the night at the hotel. The man offering her juice. She had refused it. But then, something was blown into her face. A white powder. She collapsed. Next image, a shrine. A man, dark-skinned, draped in red beads and a black wrapper, stood before a clay pot filled with blood. Chief Maxwell. He dipped his fingers into the pot and pulled out a small wax object in the shape of a womb. This is my offering, he whispered. Grant me political power. Take her ability to bear children. Then, he buried the wax womb into the soil. The mirror flickered again. Now Blessing saw herself, older, married, but barren. She sat in a doctor's office, tears streaming as she was told, "You have no womb." Then, a voice echoed from within the mirror. Unless he returns what he took, your future will be filled with sorrow. The mirror instantly turned black. Blessing screamed and fell backward, clutching her chest. The prophetess rushed to her side, holding her as she sobbed. I saw everything, Blessing cried. He took my womb, he gave it to the gods. The prophetess nodded slowly. Yes. And he paid them with your destiny. That's why everything in your life has crumbled. Blessing wiped her face, her voice shaky. Is there still a way to get it back? The prophetess was silent for a moment, then replied, yes. But only two paths remain. Either he unburies the womb with his own hands, or... She paused, his blood must soak the ground where the sacrifice was made. Blessing's eyes widened. His blood? The prophetess nodded. Only then can the covenant be broken. Blessing stood up slowly. Her hands were shaking. Her lips parted just enough to whisper, then I must make him bleed. That same night, Chief Maxwell was cruising home in his black Jeep, fresh from a political gathering. He stepped into his compound, humming to himself. But at the gate, something stopped him cold. Tied to the metal bars was a red cloth, knotted in a strange pattern. He walked closer. On the fabric, written in charcoal, were 4 chilling words. I want my womb. He scanned the compound. Nothing. No signs of anyone nearby. But he could feel it. The war had begun. Watch out for part 2. The real battle is just beginning. This isn't just a story of revenge. It's a war between darkness, and a girl who refused to stay broken. Turn on your notifications. Part 2 will shake you. Don't miss the drama as it unfolds. And remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment.